Hello, everybody. This is Victor here from Trend Following Trading for Beginners, and here's my weekly update on my sample trading portfolio coming up next. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week on my podcast. This week is similar last week, quite in the sense of trading wise, it's quite not very busy at all. It's quite quiet, but unfortunately, on the other hand, the world around us is not that quiet. So a lot of things happen. For example, once again on Monday, another black man got shot by the police 7 times in the back, while the guy just tried to go into his car, maybe taking something from the car. But I just never understand how the policeman can shoot people at the back or the body or things, and don't shoot their legs and arms first or something. Try to stop any threats first, and then just basically, apparently this guy's been tasered before that as well. So I just never understand what was happening in America. And then of course this guy apparently has been going to be unable to walk, so to speak, and has been put basically in the hospital. And apparently also because he's under there's a warrant out for him or something. Even though the police has been said, because the way he's been shot, is unlikely to get able to walk ever again. He's still got his hand or leg something got cleft to the side of his bed. It is to me is rather ridiculous. But it just this kind of thing just quite sad and sick. And then all these Chinese students, protesters in Hong Kong say, waving American flag and UK flag. I'm not sure UK is as bad as this, but in America definitely. I think all these students need to look at the world, look at America racism is, and then how police brutality is much worse than what people say in Hong Kong. As far as I'm concerned, I've been saying before, the Hong Kong's police force against the rioters and also protesters. I think it's very very low key. Very don't try to confrontation, that kind of thing. That's what police is doing. Compared to the look at America, how the black people got treated by the white policemen. He's basically, is in two worlds, and I just really hope that this starting from basically again from George Floyd, this movement, about 2 months old or something, 3 months old, and then I really hope this movement continue and stop all this, make the system, make the governor of each state, as well as the federal government in America, to think how the police is being trained, how they're being told to react, how the way that they treat people, not just black people, any people, but also to take stand on them, to basically say if it's why the black people get mistreated much more or worse than white people in other ethnic minority. That we need to be talk about. And basically, that's what happened on Monday. Obviously, this is similar to the George Floyd incidents, and there's riotings in America. And then we have Donald Trump's, say to bring in the National Guard and all sorts of things. And it's just sad overall, the whole situation. Then Tuesday, we have American Airlines came out to say, they're cutting jobs, which I talked about a couple of months back, to say in October, roughly around October, when the whatever the furlough thing that the U.S. government is paying for big companies, especially to hold on to the staff, that they basically stay home, that kind of thing, not to fire them, not to get them off their books. For the airline industry, October is the deadline, so they're already starting to say, they will. American Airlines say they would cut 19,000 jobs, and United Airlines say they're about 36,000. I think it'll be other big or small airlines who are having similar situation. We start cutting people, cutting jobs, so we see a lot more of those problems gonna happen. And I think not just in America, it's going to be around the world, when this, government subsidies to pay for company to hold on to the staff, not fire them, which distorted the actual unemployment rate. And when the money basically gone or being reduced, more and more people would then be on the dole, so to speak, on the unemployment queue. And the jobless figure is just going to increase. I don't think it's going to come back down that quickly this time. And obviously, the another thing is China apparently is talking to US again about trade talks and something, but I think just loads of hot air, just like just try to diverse the whole situation. I don't think China is going to do much with the US on its back. Saying how bad China is. US is on the back of Huawei, now it's on TikTok, and also talk about WeChat and what else, maybe Zoom later on, or anything else that have a Chinese founders or major investors or what. They even talk about previously talked about something like Alibaba. I think it's one of the like Fox News or something saying, to basically test Donald Trump, say, would you ban Alibaba or something like that? And Donald Trump smartly didn't say anything, but he said there's a lot of other companies that can be affected, especially with Chinese backing and stuff. But to my view, they won't touch Alibaba because Alibaba is basically a platform and basically selling things, very much like eBay. I think much more diverse, and it does helps a lot of American companies to sell things into Southeast Asia, and especially in China. And if the U.S. government actually go touch Alibaba, well, I think eBay is absolutely useless in China. To be honest, okay, and Alibaba is the biggest key factor there. And if the U.S. government go and touch Alibaba, well, I think it'll be quite a lot of U.S. Small, medium-sized business go to yell at Donald Trump, given Donald Trump's own rating at the moment, especially this year, 2 more months or so to the election, he's not going to touch it. Then also in UK, we found another strange thing. It's just so much like deja vu back in 2008 when the American government paid loads of money out and into AIG as well. But because of in channels set up or whatever is the rules or law, whatever they sign up to, they pay loads of money out to the staff, to pay bonuses and stuff. And this time, UK, we got something called James Fisher, basically working is in the oil industry. It has took £2 million from the government to furlough the staff, so not to fire them. But then yet, I think last week they were announcing they're going to pay £4 million worth of dividends out to its investors. It's just totally crazy. On one hand, you take money from the public, from the government, and then next you just go pay money out to the investors. Without the government, I think that James Fisher, this company just collapsed. So it's just another joke here again. But this time it's not America. This time it's in UK. It's just a bit crazy. So to me, it's a bit of deja vu or the thing. Financially, nothing much happened after that. It's really much on Wednesday and Thursday. Continue to see what happens to Tesla and Apple after Tesla broke the 2,000 mark. And it just basically now there's a bit of wobble initially, and then just continue to go up now. It's going like 2,200 marks or something like that. And Apple is continuing to go up as well. So Nasdaq is just continuing to power ahead. So it just it feels very much disjointed to me. It's very much like back in 2007, that kind of thing, when we sort of have the stock market go sky high. A lot of it gone a bit unreasonably high, and then we all know what happened. The supply market comes in, knocked the whole thing down, and I just feel very much similar to this, and also even more similar is back in 2003 in the dot-com bubble, when even Amazon was have its stock price moving up so high that it dropped subsequently. It's very much like any company at that time with a .com in the bag, it's going to be have some positive news in their movement to their stock, and then everybody just chase them up to sky high level, even though they're not making a dime or very very low in income, but their stock market valuation is just gone sky high and suddenly just drop. We all know what happened next. Something spooked the market and everything just gone down. I feel very much similar to what is now. We have so much money that not just U.S. Feds, but around the world pumping money into the market, into the general economy, try to pop up the economy while people around the world, country around the world, business around the world suffering from COVID-19. And yes, it's rightly so they do all this stuff to try to protect their own citizens, but how much can the government do? When the government start reducing in America, reducing from $600 a week to $400 or $300 per week, what is the subsequent knock-on effect? A lot of people apparently, I'm not sure it's true, but it sounds Um, it might be the case in America. A lot of people, especially the low-income people, employ people who basically not making $600 a week and actually got more money by staying at home with the government money than actually going to work. And when that money sort of reduces, what happens to those people? They have to come back out to work, but then this economy is just not firing in all cylinder to take back all these jobs to high employment. So unemployment basically go down, and people just couldn't find jobs and just go to hurt the general economy. But yet, because of the Feds pump loads of money into the general market, especially financial market, the stock market just keep going up and up and up. I just feel there's just another bubble because there's basically economy just like what you call Berkshire Hathaway. To actually said in that sense that Warren Buffett actually said, at the long term, the stock market is a weighing machine. So at the moment, short term is like sentiment, drive by sentiment, people's thought, and chased by voting machine. So long term, as far as I see, the market is basically thinking or basically people in general voting because the American government keep on putting lots of money in the market. There should be a lot more money flowing around and not them going to the stock market at the moment. Property is sort of maybe a bit hot, but not as bad as not as hot as the stock market. But with the economy down like this, long term the economy actually generate the revenue, the company making money, then the stock capitals gone up in line with what they earn. You might run the stock price will run ahead of it a bit, but over time it's still if a company is making money, then the stock price gone up. If the company is not really making money, stock price gone up so much, sooner or later there will be some sort of correction and come back down to a more reasonable average level. So I think that there's something that might be coming around, especially now with election coming out. People have been saying election years in US has always been a positive or in positive. But this year we have a lot more issue. We have COVID-19 and stuff, and I'm not sure with this historical statistic pattern will be true. Maybe I hope it does, and just continue. Then people who invest that way can still make some money. But I think because all this the spat between US and China and COVID-19, and then basically I just feel in general the economy around the world is not doing well. There may be a lot more the stock market a lot more vulnerable to a stock market correction, so to speak. So and October is coming about a month's time, and typically October is a month that it's a lot more rocky path for October, when we just basically see how things goes. And then on Friday, the Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe resigned due to ill health. But I think the main thing for this week, not from the financial point of view, I think it's more like the Fed is sort of finance. But I think Jerome Powell actually have given a speech on Thursday, I believe, at Jackson Hole. From outside, from the onset, the news has been reported. It just in general, the Fed is just telling the market in general that they're going to change the formula about inflation, how they calculate, because the inflation has always been low and employment is quite sky high. It's no way they can hit the two what you call the 2% inflation rate that they will hope for, and they basically say there'll be a lot longer low interest rate situation many years to come, so to speak. So the stock market in US seems to take a positive note on that, but you drill it down a bit more from what Jerome Powell is saying, and then all the other U.S. governors have been saying in the Fed. Basically, all the overall is this, from my understanding, and also from what I read as well, is that the Fed is preparing that the market that there might be perhaps. I mean, I'm taking a slight negative view that there might be more inflation coming over. And then the inflation might be much higher than they was expecting, maybe more than 2%, and they basically changing the goalpost, so to speak, changing the way to calculate that inflation. So there might be overshoot of more than 2% of the inflation coming in the next couple of years or so. Simply, in my view, is because two things. This Make America Great Again, however, much you love or hate Donald Trump, the effect is moving a lot of manufacturing away from China into Southeast Asia, which is what they should have done before. As a backup, so China sort of like locked down because of COVID-19 or any other terrorist attack or even political turmoil, it should have other places to take up the slack, so to speak. But when people in general, and the business so far, they just think of the money, don't really want to spend money on extra production line in another country to back themselves up. We might do that as a designer, especially for me, for I'm doing software design. But when you actually go into the actual business, a lot of people basically say, should I spend this money to bring up a backup manufacturing line in another country? It costs a lot more than in China. Most companies over time basically just say, okay, the risk is very low. They rate the risk and they think, political turmoil in China probably very low, or there's trade war, whatever, probably low, and just continue to stick with China. So now they got this awakening from U.S. basically, finding also to try to kick Chinese government ass, so to speak, and basically just want to stop Chinese government to overtake its dominant position in technology as well as anything, and basically world number one domination. And U.S. is being fine also to try to push China into the corner, so to speak, and what the best thing to do basically just make Chinese the bad guy. Even no matter how many times how bad American government have been bullying people around the world, doesn't matter. China is just bad because communists against capitalism. Communists always bad, right? So that's what the U.S. is government is trying to sell to its people. Both sides of the houses, not just Republic, but also Democrats as well. So no matter who is coming into power in America, we still going to have this issue in America, basically try to go against China. But overall, I think because of that, people moving also COVID-19 as well, they start to realize, okay, there's political turmoil in China here with the spat between U.S. and America. They're going to move it, let's say, to maybe Philippines, maybe to Malaysia, Singapore, or Thailand, those kind of places. It costs more. And Vietnam is things like that. And then the product probably not as good. And then they basically just cause more inflation because the cost of producing a unit, let's say it used to be $10 American dollars in China, but now it cost you $12 or $15 because other country just couldn't go down to that lower price to be that competitive. So basically you get some inflation coming in, but also with the backed-up, I think this is what is happening. America is spending a lot of money and just try to build up basically the bond market. That's my feeling as well. And then when the bond market collapses, the U.S. dollars just basically go down. The U.S. dollar index, I think, maybe go back down to back to the 80s, that kind of things, that in the 90s, say what is now, even much lower in the 70s. So the value of the U.S. dollars go down, and therefore this causes more expensive for America to import stuff. And so if some company might go back, put the whole manufacturing thing back into U.S., but the cost of producing unit, because of the actual labor costs and union and the laws and stuff as well, make not very profitable actually create the similar product in U.S. And so all this combination, I think there will be just there will be a lot more inflation coming over. And then Jerome Powell, in my view, is just basically telling the market to be prepared, and then changing the goalposts, changing basically the way they calculate inflation, and probably will let it go past using the old calculation well above 2, maybe 3 or 4 or something like that before I have to do anything. Overall, they also is teaching them the market to say that because the economy is down so much, they're not really in a position to increase interest rate. So that's not going to help the strength of the US dollar. And if the US dollar continue to go down, which as I expected, then you have import inflation coming in as well. And to keep that 2%, they probably will have to be forced to 2% inflation. The US Fed might be forced to increase interest rate when they really can't, because the economy is tanked and just really could not afford it. So I think that overall this talk by Jerome Powell on Thursday make us sort of think, what might be happening next. That's also set a good background for commodities such a thing as metal or gold and silver, that kind of thing. And also, I also found something funny happening past week as well. You look at grain future prices have gone up suddenly. The hogs, the lean hogs, and basically pork bellies, pork is not moving as much as grain. So something worthwhile to look at. And basically, this is basically for the whole week and things that's happening. And then the saddest things, of course, is Chadwick Boseman, the guy who played the Black Panther. That on Saturday is very sad. But overall, I mean, really shocking thing to me is this week is just the black guy, Jacob Blake, being shot by police 7 times. I really just do not understand how police can do this to another human being in America. And we just hope he survive and everything's okay for him. And that's basically the take for this week. So overall, with this sort of background, basically, I just personally feel that the market is just disjointed with the actual economy. There's a lot of things actually happening in America, and the stock market in America still continue to go up. And there's a very good. We have already seen Nasdaq has already broken the height before the COVID-19 mid-March high. S&P 500 has broken that for about a week or a month or so, and then about a month or so, and now U.S. Dow Jones probably is heading for that now as well. So it's filling that last gap. So I think there's a good chance is Dow Jones just playing a catch up, and there's a good chance for it to go above the 29,500 or 700 area. That I think it won't be surprised me going to 30,000. But we have the traditional October coming. We also have the election coming, and so it's going to be quite a rough ride for the next few months, at least for me anyway. But overall, I think the stock market will go up. Will go up a bit until at minimum. I would say probably that's just my hunch, going to 29,000 for 29,500 for Dow Jones. But as far as trends foreign concerned, I don't care. I'm just sticking my system and just basically make the money. So I think the stock market, the indexes, still got legs to run. Yes, but watch out this October. Is my view. I don't think. I mean, we have so much bad luck this year with COVID-19 and the spat between U.S. and China continuing. And then unemployment gone up because of the problems of the COVID-19 second waves and all sorts of things. I think October this year, it probably can be just as, maybe the wrong word, fun. It could be a roller coaster ride, quite rocky, so just watch out. Anyway, that's my view of this week, and next is my update on my portfolio. Okay, it's update for this week. My portfolio start to begin with is Apple. Short term is a buy, medium term is a buy, long term is a buy. Amazon, similar to Apple, short term is a buy, medium term is a buy, long term is also a buy. Australian dollars, again US dollars, same as Apple and Amazon, it's also a buy, short term, medium term, long term. And this week it has basically what notice on here is Australian dollar against US dollar has gone above the 0.72 mark and just stuck there. So this is one well look at. It just show how the weakness of the US dollars is helping other currencies, and US dollars, Australian dollars against US dollars is really one that's that shows how trend following really works over long term with currencies. And it sort of started. I think it was down to like 0.60 or something, quite low, 0.6 against US dollar for Australian dollar during the March April time when the pandemic hit, and then it just recovered and just continue up to now. So it's gone up a lot, basically, as far as I'm concerned, 20% or so, and it's still running. And this sort of shows the power of trend following. Was 3-4 months, sometimes could be even longer, similar to stock market, but you don't normally see this as much in the foreign exchange. But last year was similar things with British pound against Japanese yen and US dollars as well. So this year basically is US dollar, Australian dollars against US dollar. Next is Brent crude. Short term is a buy, medium term is a buy, long term is still neutral. WTI US crude oil, short term is a buy, Medium term is neutral, long term is buy now. This week it's basically gone above the 200 days moving average, so long term is a buy in my book. Next is DAX, short term is buy, medium term is also changed from neutral to buy this week, and long term is a buy, so there's some fluctuation now, and DAX continue to go up. Next is Dow Jones, like I said before, similar to a couple of weeks ago. Short term, medium term, long term is still a buy, and I think there's a potential that if this trend continues, it's definitely going to see similar height before the pandemic started in America. So it's like 29,500 marks, I said earlier, and maybe even higher before any meaningful correction might come in October. Let's see how it goes. Next is FTSE 100. Short term is a sell, medium term is neutral, long term is a sell. Next is gold. Short term is a sell, medium term is changed to neutral now, long term is still a buy. This week basically for gold has been fluctuating a lot. Basically the US dollar index have gone up, back up to about 93 and suddenly gone back down to 92. And also Jerome Powell's speech of more people, or in general the markets took that as a dovish, that the stock the interest rate going to stay low, and then basically because of the weakness of the US dollar index and the low interest rate, that is good for the stock market and also means good for commodity, in this case gold. And that's just how the market sees it. But as far as I'm concerned, still short term is still a sell, because it's not back up towards the 2,000 mark yet, but who knows what happens next in October. If there's some final movement in the stock market, there might be time for gold to go up again. But medium term for gold is neutral, long term is a buy still. Next is Hang Seng Index in Hong Kong. Short term is a buy, medium term, long term is neutral. No change from last week. Next is Nasdaq America. Buy across the board. This one basically is what I said before. The technology stock index in America just going up and up and up and up. The COVID-19 helps definitely to the basic technology company, because a lot of people work from home like myself and use a lot more computer, internet connections, more apps, using Microsoft Teams, those kind of things, and remote access, VPN, those kind of things. So it's helping a lot of the technology companies, so to speak. And we spend a lot more time on our phone as well. So Facebook, Google, YouTube, those kind of things as well. Also online gambling, especially online trading, Robinhood, those kind of things. So so Nasdaq is just show the way. Next is Nikkei in Japan. Short term is a buy, medium term is neutral, long term is a buy. Silver is similar to its big brother gold. Short term is a sell, medium term and long term is a bit better than gold, still a buy. So still a lot of fluctuation here, but gold have reached a new all-time high and broken above the 1917 area, 1920 area, back made in 2011 I believe. Similarly, for that time frame, silver have made about $50. Unfortunately, we only see about 30 so far in this year's rise, and I think next year definitely the one that you need to watch out. But silver seems still continue lagging behind, and just go to see, we just have to watch and see what the market will do. Next is US dollar against Chinese yuan. I say a similar thing for the past 2-3 months now. I think Chinese yuan is slowly gaining more strength against US dollar. So in this case means it's a sell across the board for short term, medium and long term sell US dollar against Chinese yuan. So basically take this Chinese yuan dollar to buy one US dollar. Next is US dollar against Japanese yen. Short term is a sell, medium and long term is a sell. There was quite a big move, back strength of Japanese yen against US dollar after Abe Santos announced his stepping down as a prime minister. And not sure how you and I deal with this, but the market basically just think it's good news for Japanese yen. Basically, it's just strengthen it somehow. Next is British pound against Japanese yen, and also next is after that is British pound against US dollar. Same as last week. basically just gone up for these two. So these two cross the British pound against both Japanese yen and US dollars is short term is a buy, medium term is a buy, and long term is a buy. So it's not much changes there, just continue movement from last week. Next is Bitcoin. Short term is a sell now, medium term is neutral, long term is a buy. One thing about Bitcoin though, it tried to break above the 12,000 mark, but it seems to have failed and come back down now. So short term is a sell and medium term is gone neutral. Long term is still a buy. It's still about the 50 days, 20-day moving average, so it's long term is a buy, but it does somehow is faltered. Everybody thought, once it broke the 10,000 mark, that's or 11,000 marks, you just rock it up, but it didn't, and it's sort of coming back down a bit at the moment. So Bitcoin's not having its day yet. Next is TLT, the iShares 20 ETF. Short term is a sell, medium term is neutral, long term is also neutral. So no surprises there. This continue to be basically short term is a sell because more money is going to stock market than in the bond market. Last but not least, this is the one that I thought was supposed to go bananas and gone down, and Tesla just continue and going up and up and up and up. And this is a good thing, that I said before. Whatever my view is against this share or any shares or any cross or any index or anything that I trade, if the market is going one way, it's no point standing in front of it and say, look the other way. The market just go crush you. So it's best is just join the team. And so this one, even though bottom of my heart, I just don't believe the price can continue. This has gone up to 2,000 and it's just still continuing, firing all cylinders and continue to go up. So nothing is stopping it. I don't believe it's a car. It's a great car. It's a lot of software, patents and stuff, and also helped by maybe a lot from SpaceX as well, those kind of things. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's still a company trying to sell into the market when many people are losing jobs. People maybe get half paid, or even if they get on stay on the real job, is being asked to do a lot more. Not sure how that will reflect. People will come out and just buy more Tesla car. I mean, it's a sexy car, it's a nice car, it's technology wise, and a bit like Apple now. I think Tesla is more like Apple is for mobile phones and stuff. So it's a luxury item as well. It's quite expensive, but to actually have this price tag on, it's basically a lot of faith that's been put on these shares. Yes, it's beaten a lot of expectation. A lot of people say, it's a bad play and shorted and been burned many times. But over time, I just feel, personally, the market may be gone way ahead of itself. But economics is will come back later on. Hopefully, you just reset the price better or something. But at this point in time, as far as I'm concerned, being a trend follower, I don't give a toss about what I think. I just give about what my system say. Basically, the price says going up, my sister say go up. I just continue to buy and stay long. That's what I do, and I hope you do the same. Doesn't matter what you think. The stock market at the end of the day is a judge and jury. If it is going one way, your system say follow the trend, go in the same way, just do it. Do not fight with the trend. And that's the end of my podcast this week. I'll speak to you next week. Bye for now.